Hello. So we're in the final day of beta for EverQuest Legends before its full release next week, and I wanted to talk about like one of the biggest controversies around this game, and I don't just mean the monetization, though it might be related to that, and I'll talk about that later. But I want to talk about the other big controversy of this game, and that is the character models, or specifically the devs' decision to not allow players to use the newer Luceland models, something that the game has always allowed, like EverQuest itself has always allowed for the past 25 years. You could always choose the newer old ones. Yeah, the EverQuest Legends is locking those out, and this is causing a lot of drama in the community, lots of angry posts and stuff, lots of like flame wars over it, and so it also involves like power tripping Reddit mobs and all your other favorite drama stuff. So yeah, let's talk about this because there's a lot of cover here. So, but yeah, like so pretty much like the EverQuest Legends Reddit there's always like lots of threads about this, but like this from 2 days ago post Lucent model graphics, and it gets locked, it gets heated, it gets locked. The mod locking it though is it was kind of part of the problem for the themes getting heated, right? So this guy Boglim Destroyer, like let's go find this is the same thread, but like you go further, he's like they're arguing about the poses, like he says the poses of the new models or whatever. They're standing there idly, and one shoulder's higher than the other at all times, and he's laughing about it. And somebody else points out the old models are also have really goofy poses, and like I said, and this mod decided to just like ban him for it. He gets banned by this mod for it. So a lot of this kind of causing drama here. And the Discord's worse. Like the Discord forum, that's like there's been a lot of drama over that. I don't really, like I said, I looked at the Discord, like I said, we're not going to go into that because that is also, there's been a lot of like feedbacks that got locked by mods there and stuff, and people I think banned from the Discord forum over this topic. So yeah, it's not a good look. It's just very, like I find this a very weird subject. I mean, I talked about this the other couple weeks ago. My first video about EverQuest Legends. I mentioned it's like that's a weird choice because like not most of us probably don't have a lot of nostalgia for like the old models. Like I mean, I played in 2001. I remember like when the models were actually new. I remember it was a big deal. Shadows of Lucian was like a big deal. And I said, I mean, like I was like a kid still, but I remember like we got the expansion. I like and we couldn't actually run most models, so we'd like run like only like turn on like 2 or 3 of them, like the ones for like the characters we actually played. And I shared an account with my brother back then because we were kids, and I know you weren't technically supposed to do that, but there was no way mom was gonna let us both have our own accounts. You know what I mean? And this back, remember when they remember those like 90-day game cards you could buy for your account? So me and my brother, we used to like pool our allowances together so we could like buy those. But no, I remember though, like the Bluetooth models though, like I was like right? Well, everyone's like seemed to think they were really cool back then. Because like if you could turn those on, like you were like right awesome or whatever. People like that was like you had a lot of like cred for that. Like if you could like said it's like bragging rights. So you go to like if you're a school cafeteria, like, you talk to the other like schoolmates who play EverQuest, and they'll tell you like there's that will always be that one kid who's like, well, my dad's computer can run all 30 of the Lucian models. It's like it was always like bragging rights. It's like it'd be like running like say like a modern game like Cyberpunk 2077 with max graphics and full of ray tracing. It was like that kind of bragging rights because EverQuest was like this cutting edge game that everyone wanted to play. A lot of people couldn't run it, and especially the new like Lucent graphics, like that was like like cutting edge AAA gaming type of stuff, and everyone wanted to like have the greatest or whatever. So I always like associate the Lucent models like with better graphics. I don't know, I've always liked them. Like when I was a bit older and actually had my own computer and my own account stuff, I always used the new model, like on the TLP stuff. Like I mean, it's like only recently, like wait, there's people. I was actually surprised to hear that there's people who actually prefer the old models. I'm like, wait, since when? As I said, I find that super weird, just because of just how long ago that was. I mean, maybe it's just people who were like actually adults in like 1999. I don't know, but I just found it super weird. But no, there's like a few different threads though. Like people have like some different points and stuff about this, and also the old models, they don't have customization options either. You have just 8 heads to choose from. There's no facial customization. Like this is one of their big selling. This was actually one of the big selling points of the Luca models. Like is that they had a lot more customization. I think that was right here. Someone's actually mentioned this. Right, was it selling? That was said. Like so, Brad McQuaid. If you remember, like the guy who created EverQuest, Brad McQuaid. Um, he used to, like I said, he went on to make another game called Vanguard Saga Heroes, but in the old, like, Vanguard Sigil forums, he actually talked about, like, the lack of customization being a huge mistake with the original models. Like, it was, like I said, because they came from, like, an MUD background, and he didn't think people would care too much about character customization. He said they were, like, dead wrong about that, and that is, right, part of the reason why the Lucid models had a lot more options, and why, like, in Vanguard Saga Heroes, if you ever had a chance to play it, like, right, that one had a lot more options. Like, there was so many different sliders in that game. Like, that game, like, yeah, no, they made customization a very high priority in that game, and they gave players so many options. Like, you'd spend an hour in the character creator just because of just looking at all the different options you had. Like, yeah, awesome game. Sad they got shut down, but like, that game was awesome. But yeah, like, that was a lesson that was learned literally 25 years ago. So yeah, I just find it weird that they aren't allowing them. But if we look at some of these other, like, comments and stuff, like, somebody else generally finds it puzzling. Again, like, there's a lot of these other opinions that I think are well reasoned. Like I said, and there's just, like I said, a lot of, like, other stuff, like, you know, like, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of different, like, threads about. There's a lot of it. So it's not even, like, on other websites and kind of goes in there. Like, but someone meant, I brought this one up because somebody had a good point there. Classic graphics, personal choice. Like I said, the restricted personal choice again. Like, the models were always client side. Like, if you turn on, like, it doesn't affect anybody else. It literally just affects how the characters looked on your own computers, like player choice. So yeah, it's very peculiar that they would do this. But he makes point that this is probably so they can monetize like custom ornaments and stuff. Like, this is done so they can, like, make more money, like, on the other ones. Maybe they're easier to make graphics for or something. But it's more, like I said, we talk about the monetization, but a lot of controversy from us. They might be taking away a feature and essentially selling it back to you. Like, oh, you want more hairstyle options that you normally have? Well, with the character with Lucid models, here, we'll sell those back to you, right? Like, or you want eye color choice, you want different hair color, you want, tattoos. Oh, here's an option. It'll cost you $5, right? It's like they're taking away options just to sell it back to you. Like, that's, might be what they're doing. But yeah, there's been a lot of controversies here. So, some people call it a bait and switch, according to this article. But yeah, we can actually look at their full monetization stuff here. But if you look here, various cosmetic items. So yeah, this might just be a case of them taking away an option just so they can sell it back to the players, and that's what it's really about. So yeah, like I said, a lot of this monetization, like, a lot of people were not too happy about this. Like, there's also some of the other things, like alternate storage increase. Like, there were, like, loadouts, right? Like, earlier in beta, you had more loadout slots, and they reduced them, and people like, oh, they took it away so they can sell it back to you. So yeah, a lot of, like, controversy here. And yeah, the character model seems to be yet another aspect of this. Like, it's called their special currency called Iridium. Like, there's a premium currency, right? And some of this other stuff, like weight reduction bags and stuff, those are stuff like experience potions and stuff. Those are stuff you could buy into normal EverQuest on the TLPs and stuff. But yeah, like, some of this though, like, definitely has the community up in arms, being a lot of, like, drama around this. But yeah, like, if it wasn't for this, like I said, I mean, if I thought this is probably the real reason, the monetization of various cosmetic items. Like, that's I'm gonna bet that one person in the Red Guides, I think is Red Guides forum or something, they were spot on with this. It's about monetization. They're taking away player choice to push more monetization items, which is kind of funny considering that the game's official slogan is "Adventure Your Way." That is their official slogan, "Adventure Your Way." If that, like I said, it's like, you can adventure your way, except no, not that way. No, you want to use those old new models? You want, no, sorry, we can't let you do that. We don't want you to adventure your way. We want you to adventure our way. Now pay up and get them, and we'll give you some more customization options. So yeah, like, does feel kind of scummy. It does feel, like I said, it feels super unnecessary. Like, just let people use the, like I said, live up to your tagline here, your literal official slogan. Let people who want to use the new models, use them. Let them play their way. A similar thing happened with, like, the music. Like, EverQuest, like, if they're using, like, the original, like, MIDI soundtrack, which is, it's okay in places, but there's a lot of zones that had, like, like improved like new soundtracks that were just way better. A good example of this is Steam Font Mounts, which is normally one of my like favorite zones because I played like gnomes on like TLPs and stuff. And like I said, Steamfont has this really beautiful music normally, but on the in the EverQuest Legends, they just replaced these like really short looping midis that are like super annoying. Like if you're like by the windmills, which is a place you'll probably be around like level 4 or 5 or so to like level 10ish. Like there's just like really short looping MIDI that lasts like 15 seconds and it just keeps looping forever. And like just imagine, like so I'll just play this for you for like 30 seconds. Just listen. Yeah, like I said, just like I said, it's like 15 seconds long or something. Like, and just imagine having to listen to this for hours. And because that's kind of what it is. If you're hunting deer by in the Steamfont Mountains near the windmills, which is like where you're probably going to be if you're playing in Steamfont Mountains for like level 5 or so, you're going to be like here for a while and you're going to be probably listening to that short loop of music for a very, very long time. Alright, so I'm back here in Steamfont Mountains, but this is the live EverQuest game. Yeah, and you can hear the music's different, but this is the same area. So just listen to for like 30 seconds. Yeah, it's a lot different, isn't it? Like I said, it's a lot said. I think this is a really pretty track. This is one of my favorite pieces of music in EverQuest. Like I said, on the TLPs, I made like gnome characters. Like this is a character I originally made on the Lockjaw server. And yeah, and I had, like I said, got used to this new zone, but I just really love this piece of music. Like I said, it's a lot longer than that 15-second looping MIDI. And yeah, like I said, I just think it's really great. And it was pretty disappointing with EverQuest Legends not having this piece of music in the game. But yeah, like the solution to this though is pretty simple. They just need to have an option for like the modern or classic soundtrack. Like lots of games that have like been remade or had like remasters or like or whatever, and they'll have like an orchestral soundtrack, but a lot of them will have like an option to turn on the original MIDI. Like they just need to do an option like that. I think that would just solve the problem for those who want to listen to MIDI tracks. They can do it, but for those who like the modern soundtrack like this, like I do, they can have the option in the game. Like I said, it's an option that's been used in many other video games. But yeah, like so another thing like that this that EverQuest has that EverQuest Legends doesn't have while we're talking about music is the /MP3 command. So if you just type /MP3, you'll bring up this little MP3 player and you can put in pretty much any track of music you want that's an MP3 format. It has to be an MP3 format. So you can't put MIDI or anything, but you can put MP3. So I'm going to load up a track here. All right, now I have a track loaded up here. Like I said, you can put up entire playlists and stuff in here, but we're just going to load one track here just so I can show it off here. So we're just going to play. And instantly we have different music. And again, because the player's integrated in the game, like you can just put this on as like for like the zones you don't like the music of, or the zones where there's no music. Because there was a lot of zones in EverQuest that didn't have music, especially the older zones. Like newer zones, they all have music because that's a problem they solved. But yeah, they added this player back in like 2002 because a lot of us were using Winamp with like the sneaky amp plugins just so we could control it in game. And yeah, like I said, so I'd love to see this one in EverQuest Legends too, and I don't know why this command's been removed, because this is a great feature. And the other part great about this is if you, like I said, if you hit stop, instantly the game music comes back on. So if you're in an area where that actually has music or has music that you like, you can just turn off your MP3s and save them for like when you actually need to play them. But like I said, I wouldn't need to put on my MP3 player here in Steamfont because this music's great, but not in EverQuest Legends where they replace the MIDI. But yeah, like I said, this is, like I said, I think this is a problem that's easily solved by just letting players have those options. So that's the controversy. For a game that is using the slogan adventure your way, I feel like they should just let the players adventure their way and choose which models they want to use and which soundtrack they want to use and just have those choices. Like it should be about player choices and player freedom, right? But yeah, like I said, I personally don't have a lot of nostalgia for the old models and I would rather just be able to use the new models because one, they have more customization options, but two, some of the models like gnomes are like super cute. But also a lot of the old models, like the women in some of them, don't have like appropriate base garments. So there's a bit of an ick factor there. And the new models like fix that issue. So there's definitely, I think for 2026, they have a broader appeal because women do want to play this game too, you know. But yeah, like I said, those are just my thoughts. Like there was another issue with like the UI that's supposedly going to be fixed by launch. And I did a whole video where I talk about that and like things you can do right now to fix the UI. And we'll see what happens at launch. But if you want to see that video, check it out down below. And as always, thank you for watching.